Welcome to our Dance Journeys podcast. This is the episode 15, and I have an amazing guest here today, Sari, who is. I'm going to let Sari a little bit introduce herself, but a little bit how we kind of got to know with Sari. So Sari started with a group program. And that's how I met her. So I haven't seen Sari live or in person yet. hopefully one day we'll meet. But yeah, we'll be working really closely otherwise in online. So I'm really excited to have this little chat, and so that Sari can a little bit share about her experiences and her journey in dance, because she's also a little bit having a dance there in her work. So how dance has also kind of integrated in her working life. But I'm really excited to have this chat. But firstly, Sari, could you tell a little bit about you? What do you do and where you're from?
Hi all, and nice to be here, of course. And I'm living in Finland, here the little village. Side village. They're in the middle of the forest in Etelä-Pohjanmaa. I don't know how it translated. Maybe it's not any word.
Like I said for the start, why we're having these podcasts in English is that we can share it for wider our dance community, because it is, we have Finnish students, we have students from a little bit around the world. And when I said to Sari that we're gonna find these words together, so whatever we kind of feel like now, and she threw me this challenge right away, I'm like, I should know how this is translated, but nothing is coming to my mind. But
it's okay. Yes,
it's a little bit more. It's not totally north, and it's not totally south, but a little bit on the middle of Finland. And
okay. And I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and I'm most of the time I've been accountant. Okay, and then I take care of people. I have this is well-being. I made wellness treatments, traditional Finnish treatments, massage and blood cupping. It's not sounds nice, but it's very good.
It's really good.
Yes.
It's really
and shiatsu and something like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm teaching in the adult education center. I have a couple of dance class and body care and relaxation class and karaoke class. Yeah.
Oh, that's the new one. Oh, I didn't know it was a class as well.
Okay.
Interesting. That's great.
Then of course I have a family here. 2
Yeah.
sons, husband, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining on this little podcast. And first, the question of what kind of background you have with dance. If you think about way back, was dance something you started when you were younger, or what kind of background you have with dancing?
I thinking about that last night, and I think I'm dancing all my life. Of course, home and dance my own dance when I'm child. So then I'm starting. I think I was maybe 6 years old. I joined folk dance group, if it's right word, and okay, again traditional Finnish folk dance, of course. And I can't remember when I stopped it, but I think maybe I'm 10, 11, maybe 10, I think so. And then I have a little break, and then here is a when I'm secondary school, there is some kind of Latin dance classes, not
Mm.
so many, maybe month or half year,
Mm.
and then then I remember what what
Mhm.
I do then. Uh, so of course I'm I'm doing then Zumba class or
Mm.
Lavis dance and something like that,
Mm.
and then social dancing.
Mm.
So if there is some kind of a party or
Mm.
something else, so we dancing here everywhere, wedding
Yeah.
and if you are 15 or something like that, parties everywhere is dancing. So that's social dancing. So
Mm. Mm.
I'm dancing there.
Mm.
And about 9 or 10 years ago, my husband said yes, and then we joined folk dance group again,
Mm.
adults folk dance group,
Amazing.
and it's a traditional again because
Mm.
my mother and father dancing there too, and
Mm.
I'm with them when I'm maybe 4 or something like that. So I saw that folk dancing
Mm.
when I'm so young,
Yeah. Yeah.
and of course now I have those um, classes where I'm teaching,
Mm.
and and there is it. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
But
think
it,
I when I'm younger, I made my own dances to me and my sister. So no, that was funny. It was funny dancing, but nice.
agree. Yeah, because it really sounds like dancing has been really kind of part of part of you and your whole journey of growing up in so many different ways, and not just thinking like dancing is happening in just thinking about dance classes, but it's just like, yeah, it's part of who you are, and it's traveling with you. So that's wonderful here. And as well of that, yeah, Finnish folk dance, or do we talk about traditional dances, it's a huge thing in Finland. And I think it's like, oh, sometimes I felt, because that's also where I started when I was younger, but I think it has had this waves of, sometimes it's really like everybody's doing it, and then it has waves of kind of going down. But I feel like the last decade or so, it just has been like growing and growing and growing. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are kind of taking that interest as well. And it's lovely to see, because it's part of our culture. So
Hmm.
having that dance still going strong, and finding different ways also of not just being, if of course it's for us, it's a social dancing aspect. You dance with a couple, you dance with a group, but also that it has found a way of to be in performances and on the stage as well. So it's lovely to see that it's growing, and lovely to hear that you're also, and I know that you've been also having this group that you're performing with them as well, and it has a huge age differences as well, and lovely to hear that you're doing it, that your husband is there as well. So fantastic, cool. Well, now thinking, of course, the kind of moments of sometimes you have how you have tried on different styles as well, and of course pandemic has been another one, has which has thrown us a little bit different challenges. But what do you think, what kind of things has made you stop dancing, or what kind of challenges you have faced, of what kind of made you stop doing it more, or what comes to your mind?
I think one reason is that because I live here in a small village, you
Mm.
don't have many choices, or or I'm never being before that your dance school,
Mm.
uh, that kind of dance that I dance myself, and I only myself. And I think about that I'm dancing all the time in the group, not not alone. Mm.
Mm. Mm.
And another thing when I'm stopped, I think it's age,
Mm.
teenage.
Yeah, the teenage times. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, it's the truth because yeah, where you are is there's not many opportunities or possibilities to try different things or having more that consistent way of dancing so that you could see your progress as well. So the choices are limited when you are a little bit side from bigger cities, which is
Yes.
unfortunately the thing. But yeah, luckily you found me and you've been now dancing a lot. Crazy amount. Well, what do you find? How has your dancing changed in these years? What do you think, even of now, thinking about now this couple of years, how do you see that your dancing has changed or the way that you're doing and training your dancing?
That's a huge change that I'm dancing to myself and alone,
Mm.
and you just looking me and tell what I have to do, um, mm, and I don't have any possibilities to do that before, because if there is a street jazz class or something like that, but it's about 6 or 12 years old thing. So I don't I think I'm not belong. That it's very it's different now. Yeah. Because I like music and I like rhythms, and that rhythms take me in, and then I have to move myself. So maybe this style of dance, what I'm dancing with you, is uh, dancing like I dance all on my own here in a home,
Mm. Mm.
closed doors and windows and everything. Before that, your classes.
Yeah, yeah.
not
Changed
not not so public.
Mm, yeah, yeah. It's a lovely way you also put it that you're dancing for yourself more. And I guess it comes also of thinking that you're teaching and you're giving already something for someone else. So yeah, having those opportunities and possibilities to really just yeah, keep on dancing for yourself and not straight away thinking of okay, how do I give this to others and or what's happening, but this is something for just me
Mhm.
doing in these closed doors. At the moment, at least. Well, there's been what like I asked on everybody who is kind of joining on these chats. I always kind of ask of what kind of things you're wanting to talk, and you also what you kind of had there is just the trust the body that it remembers and it knows. Can you talk a little bit what that means for you? What does it mean of that trusting the body that it knows and remembers?
Mm, okay, I have to a little bit think about how I say it. It's a uh, uh, when you are so but, you all the time think about if I make mistakes and
Mm,
is it right or wrong, or uh, if I do this kind of moves, is it
mm,
okay or not, and is correct.
mm,
So then um, you are not dancing, you're thinking about that
mm,
what you do, and then the music don't that, or how can I say that jump in the music and uh, take everything what it gives to you. So
mm,
if you think about too much, it not happen that thing,
mm.
and then you are like a robot or something, and look stupid, of course. uh, the dancing looks like you don't like it. And if I think about, I need to remember that that my body remember everything. So if I just annan mennä,
Just go for it.
Just go for it, and then everything's the piece is going to right place. Yeah. And I think I don't understand that first, because I mean that suorittaminen, you don't.
This is the lovely word that in English don't have next
Of
the
course.
translation, and I think because we Finnish are so good with it, so in Finnish we have even invented this amazing word for it, which all Finnish know what it is, and the English translation is just doing for the sake of doing is the best kind of translation. So you do it for the sake of just doing it. Like you just do it,
Okay,
and just keep on doing it for the sake of doing it. There's nothing else. You just keep on kind of doing for the sake of doing it. So that's the best.
You have to do. You do when you have to do. Okay, but if you do that, everybody else can see it.
It's been so funny, especially when we're talking in our Finnish coaching groups. We all know when it's just like everybody's like, yeah, we want to get rid of this person inside me who is just doing it for the sake of doing it, doing it for that little checked mark to put in front of it. And they're always like, oh, what does this means in English? I'm like, yeah, there's not really a good translation, but the best translation is that doing for the sake of doing it.
I just ask you good words.
Yeah, it's definitely what, even though that there's not the specific translation in English, I feel like now in working in other countries as well, like I can see that it's elsewhere as well. Is people of just doing it for the sake of doing, but then also like if we keep on doing it that way, especially if we're talking about dancing now, there is not that joy anymore, and then it becomes as a more like a task that you just kind of doing.
You don't smile or nothing or enjoy it. And you're just good student and do it what you have to do, and then you get a bookmark.
You get the bookmark. That's it. That's exactly right. And I think it's coming so much of our school system, how much we train in that way in our school times already. So if it comes with your training or whatever you love doing, and sometimes people are like, oh, well, it's like a hobby. Well, it's something that you love doing. It gives something good for you. You find your own passion with it, whatever that is. Keep on doing it, but not for sake of doing. So having fun, I think, and I think when I think about you, I think you're the one who is always having fun with it, which is amazing thing. You're really throwing yourself in it and having fun, and it's not like just doing it for the sake of doing, but enjoying the process, whatever it kind of takes you on. So that's really wonderful to see. But also it's really lovely when you are mentioning it on the side of trusting the body knows. And it doesn't matter how much we have been trained or how much we have done dancing or whatever we're passionate about. The body knows more than we allow it to know. So if we start overthinking, we forget to listen to the music. Like you said, is so correct on that one. Well,
and it's also I think about that. It's also that we say you say something our school system. So personality, nobody can see your personality there. Here our systems. So and I think personality is important when you're dancing.
Yeah, totally. And they're allowed to be there. I think we're sometimes so afraid to show them, but they're allowed to
Mm-hmm.
be there. We're dancing with our bodies, and nobody has the same body. So you're unique, you. So dance how you do it. Well, now that you have been doing dance a little bit differently, and it is part of your how you work around it as well. How do you see how now kind of doing more dancing more systematically or more having dance more in your life just for you, what it has given for your work, or what do you have noticed what it has given for your body or your mind?
Um, I started my first dance class about a year ago. So
Mm.
it's after that when I started here
Mm.
dancing with you. So I think I get more. I think it's. I have to think what I want to say.
Sorry, just say
I
what comes to your mind. We will
sorry.
understand.
uh, um, it's nice to be there in front of every people, and it's that's dancing gets me more brave there,
Mm.
and I don't care what they think about or say to me or something. I can handle it better. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
And it's those two dance class uh, what I have there in the adult education center. There is it's a different when I take care that folk dance group to the traditional folk dance group also. So there is a very different also, because that group, everybody dancing years and years, maybe 40 years
Mm.
or 30 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So me and my husband are youngest people there. So so it's a different there, and I think uh, I'm varmempi. What is it?
It's more confident with it.
Yes, more confident. Yes, when I'm dancing more and dancing to myself,
Mm.
and uh, that my other job there in the adult education center. So it, yeah, it's also more confident, of course, but it's a different. And now I think I may I'm thinking about that. Maybe I put it the one class where is where I can make some kind of choreo,
Mm.
because that now those classes are I love is dance, but nobody knows what is it. Only same style, just two music.
Yeah, Lavis
Uh,
is invented in Finland, which is like a Zumba, but it's just based on kind of more traditional, more like social dances that we do more in
yeah,
Finland, or like ballroom dances. So
with
it's more.
Latins, of course, now because
Oh,
I'm there.
ah,
It's not Lavis
yeah.
anymore.
But yeah, it's like a Zumba class, so it's more like a fitness based class.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
but it's not very difficult choreos there.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
but but it's nice to see when somebody gets something like I get there when I
Mm.
dancing.
Mm.
If I dancing that kaikki estot that nobody sees, or I that's just like I said them, that dance like nobody sees, or dance like everybody wants it to.
Yeah. Is it what you're describing is that kind of moment of letting go of everything.
Yes.
Let go. Yeah.
Yes. And just dance and enjoy that.
Yeah.
And when somebody's can do it's very nice, and
Mm, mm,
it's
enjoy it.
good thing.
Yeah. What do you think? How what the dancing now that you more have done more systematically? What it has given for your body and for other ways in your lifestyle? Have you noticed anything difference that it has changed?
I don't know. I learn, of course, more, and then my body learn also more. I think that I know. I knew now that I can move different ways, and of course, more joy, because dancing. When you start to dance, if you are not a good habit, so then after that you enjoy the life again.
Yeah. And I guess is that kind of a confidence that is coming through then you're dancing when you're learning more, but also kind of the coordination has grown, but
Yes.
understanding of how the body works, how to be grounded, how to use all what you have in your body the best way to get the most power out, or different elements, and more the knowledge kind of grows, more you can start playing with it. I feel like that's what you kind of also describing in there. Amazing. Well, I think it's always on these dance journeys we're talking about what's been kind of the struggles and what people have learned, and what people would kind of share for others. And I think the biggest thing is what you are also kind of reminding, and I hope everybody who is listening to this is hearing that, yeah, the body knows more. So stop overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
Stop
I have
over.
to say that to me every time. Don't
It's a constant journey that we need to kind of remind those things. Would there be something else that you would kind of recommend for people, or anything else that you would like to still share for others if they're feeling they're a little bit similar situation and you being a little bit in a place that there's not much opportunities to dance, or not sure of what to kind of go for it, or on having those little different struggles? What do you think? What would you recommend, or what would share for these people?
I think most important is that just do what you love to do, and don't care what everybody else thinking about that. If you are tall or low, high or low, or big or small, don't care. Just dance.
Yeah.
And of course, that don't overthink coming second, because first is go lower.
Yeah, sometimes the things does go a little bit lower when they can go up. So
And remember floor, of course.
yeah. Hey, really good. Yeah, we can't jump if we don't go down first. So it's a good thing
And
to.
then don't overthink when you think those two things all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy.
Definitely not. Yeah, and it's the same of like you said, you have also now danced more in at home, and it's been done differently, and it might have been a little bit strange for you as well at the first, but still keeping on doing. Did you find it strange to start dancing at home and alone?
Everybody else is just knowing that I'm dancing, and I'm dancing with them, or they don't want to dance, so I dance still. So so it's okay that dance, but it's difficult to make a videos and send it. And it's take a time when you can watch those videos and don't think that I look so stupid.
Yeah.
So when you can uh, look about those videos a little bit go far away, so and think about there's in the video somebody else what you say, then it's a,
Mm. Mm.
it's a better than you said why I have those kind of
Mm.
clothes or there is some kind of some kind of things there in the floor or something like that.
Yeah, not paying attention to the
Yeah.
minor stuff.
Important things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a true, like you said, of course, like the training. Well, with our program, we do it differently because we are sometimes filming and we're watching those videos then and kind of seeing where things are going, but also that you all see your progress. But that's just how I run the program. But yeah, it's not always easy to film yourself, but you learn in that process as well, and it gives something new. And I think it's so being lovely of seeing, like, you sometimes have your videos there on your home, but you also have had those videos when you have been traveling to the summer, and it's just like, yeah, dancing never stops, which I love it. You always
And
find a way.
I think it's not difficult to film there in the camping. Is it
Hmm.
camping area? So there was some kind of children who's looking or some kind of adults too, but I don't care that. But it's difficult to dance when you get your nearest people.
Mm.
Maybe it's a difficult to take my husband to sit there in the front of me and then I have to dance. So not very easy. I don't know why, because of course he likes, but
I
can't
think
say anything else.
I think it's that thing of when we just have to dance for people who we know, it's much more nervous. I know as a performer, if I know that they're in the audience, there's more people that I know, I get more nervous than if I think about people. If there's totally like I don't know anyone, I'm getting nervous. I always get a little bit nervous, and that's a good thing. But I get differently nervous. So yeah, I definitely know what you mean. But I think it's the good thing what you kind of said there is yeah, don't care, just do it.
Mm.
I think so
Mm-hmm.
much we are caring about what others might say of, oh, can I do this, or no, I don't know if this working. But yeah, well, why do you care? Just find your way how to keep on dancing. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's
And you don't have to give anybody just one person. When you have a one person to look at you, you have to give everything to him or her.
yeah, it's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the last questions on when we're finishing this chat, been asking this from everybody. Why do you dance? What is making Sari dance still these years? Why do you dance now?
I love music, and and I think Latin music is always to be near my heart or next to my heart. And when I hear the good beat, I need to move. So music is very important. If there's some kind of not so good music, so it's not so funny. But there is some kind of things I can't explain what is it, what is it. But there is something, and then you get it like electric
Mm.
to yourself, and it's nice. Some sounds make you move. Hmm. And I like it. Um, it's it's a one that ilmaisukeino, I think so.
It's the way of expressing yourself.
Yes, yes.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, and definitely because it sounds like it's been so part of you, and I think it's part of so many people. We be scared of going for it, or we letting ourselves stop for doing it. I think that's the biggest thing of who is sometimes standing in your way, it's you. So I think from kind of hearing what you have been now talking about dancing and what to go for it is, I hope that it just reminds everybody that don't stand in your own way. Just go for it. And it's not always easy, but finding also that support is good to have people around you and have your own community. Amazing. Well, I always let the last question to be from you, from the people who I've been asking a lot of questions. So you can now ask me anything.
Oh no. What I want to ask to you. Where comes every choreos?
Oh, as it's a little bit similar. We were having conversation on our last episode of where did I get my inspiration?
Yeah.
And I said people.
Okay.
From people. And we were talking about this a little bit more in that episode. I will let people who listening to this might go and listen to that first one if you haven't heard that. It's episode 14. No, episode 13. This. Oh no, 12. Oh my God, I forgot the numbers. Yeah, this is 15. It's way back, way back. Because Evelina was asking, Evelina, who was also starting dancing with you at the same time, and she asked the same thing. And I said on people. So not getting too much into it, but if I open just about choreographing, I think I'm being a little bit like you on this in the way that I always been really inspired to create my own dances. Since I can remember, it's always been a part of me of like, oh, I can see these images in my head and I'm like, oh, I want to make it that way. Or yeah, so I had the curiosity for choreographing from really young age. And I think I was just trying to find different ways, and it was interesting to like go to different classes and learn about different teachers, how they choreograph. But I just felt like none of their things of how they do it, it just didn't resonate with me. So when I started more teaching, I felt really kind of first little bit struggling with it because I just felt like none of these things that how I'm seeing how everybody else are doing is not working for me. So might some people, if we think about commercial way of people, how they choreograph is so much listening to the songs and reacting to the, when it's a love, there's a love somewhere, there's a heart coming out and it's so going with the lyrics. Sometimes it's fun to play with that way, but I just felt like there's something more I want to express, but I just didn't get those tools at that time on that age. So when I was starting to choreograph a lot already from young age, when I started to teach, it became a lot from my feelings. And I tried to think about, okay, if I feel now really happy, how does that happiness come out as a movement? And just play with these themes. And then of course, then the music is affecting of all of it in that way. So that's how I kind of, when I was younger, started to play with things. Then as you kind of grow older and older and you have a chance to go to school and also do a little exchange studies at the time, I started to find more my artistic voice, which meant that I got a little bit more different tools how to choreograph, which made me just more and more confident with it. But still with choreographing, I think I found, like, I think everybody who is choreographing a lot have their own kind of structure, what works for them. But I also want to challenge that all the time, which makes me think like, oh, okay, am I challenging this too much? Did I just keep it? But at the same time, it's inspiring. I find it inspiring because there is so much opportunities then to explore. So if I think about choreographing for the classes, I think about a lot of themes, what I want to play with. And like I talked about, where I get my inspiration is the people. And more I realized these years that I need to know who I'm choreographing for the classes. So if if doing the class and I have no idea who I'm working with, it's really hard for me to get inspired. But if I know a little bit the people like working with you or with the program, I know you so well that it inspires me so much, because then I know like, oh, they have a little bit difficulties with this kind of elements or this kind of movement or spatial awareness. Like, oh, how can I choreograph something to help them with this? And of course, then I take that to other classes as well, which I might not know people that well, and share it. Okay, this is something I'm working with now with others, and I want to share this with you. So it comes a lot from the people, what I'm imagining where they're finding challenges, but also what I want to kind of is explore. And lately I have been wanting to explore more that performance side of it, on how can we express ourselves differently, like we've been doing a little bit different ways of in all of the classes. And yeah, it's fun. I find choreographing is like a fun little game I can play. And whoever I work with, do I work with professionals or do I work with like group that I call diverse groups, with people who come from different backgrounds or different abilities? I still do the same. I choreograph with the people. So it's not that I give totally something. This is, I want you to do it now this way. No, it always comes from the people in one way. So yeah, having in little games, which is also really fun, and taking inspiration wherever you can kind of get. I have these cards, like game cards that you sometimes get from this like memory games. And then I'm like, oh, how could I like make this like a little choreographing task? So yeah, it's kind of taking just ideas and inspirations wherever you are. But I would say a biggest thing is to think about where the inspiration and everything is coming. It's from the people, and how can I engage with that with them? Is it then a performance or a class? Is always of it's the core for me is the people, and how can I engage with it?
So you have a movements before music.
Yeah, funny enough, yeah. And I'm been thinking about, because when Evelina was asking that, and I really started after that day, I started to think like, yeah, I always thought even when I was younger that I choreographed a lot for the music, that the music was coming first. But I kind of realized after that evening when Evelina asked that question, I was just like, yeah, no, the music is always kind of coming late for me. There's so much happening before that. And the music is kind of, and then it's a lot like I feel like, oh, the right music will find me. Or then
Okay.
if it's also, it can be that I have a list of sounds or list of music that I play with while I choreograph. So then it might be that some of the songs will stay, or some of the songs are just, or music or sound is just the inspiration to go further. So like with one project, I just had a list where I've been choreographing a lot. And I took that list for a different sound designer, and I said like, this is kind of the world that I would like, and then he would started to play with. So that's another world. But yeah, I would say there's so much more happening before the music kind of comes along for me. Yeah.
It's
Did I
very
answer?
interesting to hear that. It's many ways to do those careers.
Definitely. And I think it's just that interesting game of just finding what works for you and finding all the time. And I think it's the same with dance. It's just finding what works for you and keep on exploring that in a different ways. I think that's at least that inspires me with dance. Well, thank you. That was a good question. Yeah, taking the inspirational thing further. But cool. Thank you so much, Sari, for joining on this chat. I know it's always on when we're not talking with our native language. It's so different ways of expressing yourself, and yeah. So thank you so much for doing it, because it's also, yeah, it isn't in English, not on our native language. But yeah, it just proves again of your kind of mentality of, yeah, let's just do it. Let's just go for it. We don't care what happens. We're just going.
Just jump. Okay.
Jump.
Sometimes under the train, but no.
Yeah, exactly. Just jump. Let's just do it. So yeah, thanks for joining on this conversation and sharing your story. And we will put this on the live there on later on as well, so that if anybody has any other questions, even for Sari, you're welcome to, and I will spread them around and get answers even later, and if something comes in the mind. But I hope that it has inspired somebody there now also listening, and somebody has got something out of this, because I think that's also why we do this. Hoping that somebody will get out of this something, some new energy at least. And yeah, if there's any other thoughts or anything else that you would like us to talk about in next episode, feel free to get in touch. But we'll finish our chat for today. Wishing everybody a lovely day wherever you are. And yeah, soon we will have another one. Keep your eyes open. But thank you.
Thanks.